New at 6:14, researchers from The Ohio State University say they are shocked at the Food and Drug Administration's quick action to ban Juul e-cigarettes. The ban comes after a 2-year FDA investigation and a look into their effect, especially on young people. Researchers from Ohio State have work that reveals how the products can affect all organ systems, including adolescent lab animals in research, having long-term significant heart and lung damage. I talked with Lauren Wold from the Ohio State University College of Medicine, who just 2 days ago was part of a study and part of some paperwork submitted by the American Heart Association calling for drastic measures to reduce access to these e-cigarettes.
There's also some literature showing that long exposure to these particles can exacerbate a neurodegenerative phenotype for things like Alzheimer's or Parkinson's disease. So, and Tracy, I think the key here is these products are so new. They've only been around for the electronic cigarette market has really only been around for about 20 years.
And we want to continue the conversation about this morning, especially as it relates to protecting your family. So joining us today, we have Dr. Ben Bring from Ohio Health, and we know that you see a lot of patients. What do you think this is going to do in terms of how you talk about e-cigarettes, especially with younger people going forward?
Yeah, I mean, I think the first thing as a doctor, our role is to educate the best that we can. And so usually what I'll do is I'll sit down with parents and teenagers and just go over the underlying risks associated with Juul or type e-cigarette type products. One of the biggest risks is the high levels of nicotine that these products come with. And, nicotine has been shown time and time again to affect brain development, especially in younger kids. And this can affect learning, attention, and mood. It can cause some other underlying mood disorders to surface as well. And then also, once you've stopped using the nicotine, sometimes you can get some of those rebound effects as well, where some students will say, well, I just use it for anxiety or I use it for my depression, but really it's kind of a vicious cycle.
And Dr. Bring, that brings me to another interesting point in all this. Originally, these kinds of devices came out as a way to help people stop smoking. What do you tell people now when they are looking for options to kick nicotine?
Right. Well, we have a lot of medical therapies to help smoking cessation, as we say, to quit smoking. The dangerous thing about the e-cigarettes is the extremely high levels of nicotine that come in some of these pods. So online they said it up to, it's 20 times the amount of nicotine in a single pod compared to a pack of cigarettes even. So I think it's just extraordinary levels of nicotine, which, as we all know, is very highly addictive. So it can even exacerbate cigarette use as well. Even in kids, they've shown that early use of e-cigarettes can lead to higher risk of smoking down the road.
So are there some sort of watch outs you can tell parents or guardians today? Because we know that, young people have really kind of embraced these devices. Are there some things telltale signs that moms and dads should know that their kids are using these?
Yeah, I mean, I think just looking for changes in mood, looking for changes in their grades or interactions with their peers, basically, high levels of nicotine can really affect that over time. Any withdrawal symptoms too, such as anxiety or depression, those things can come out as well. But really the biggest thing is, I think, is to educate parents and teenagers on what these products are and what are the risks associated with them. Unfortunately, I think that the way that they were branded early on, it was kind of like a fun product. As you know, in January of 2020, they banned any kind of flavors on these as well. And so, in the relatively new products, as we had just discussed as well. And so I think that until we learn more about them, really there are zero health benefits associated with it. And it can actually exacerbate some underlying lung conditions as well. If you may remember, a couple of years ago, we had some underlying lung disease that came out from the small particles that get down into young, healthy people's lungs, causing severe lung disease over time as well. So not only the addictive potential, but also the ability to potentially damage your lungs long term, and obviously brain damage as well that comes with it.
All right, Dr. Ben Bring from Ohio Health, thank you so much for joining us this morning to talk about this.
Thanks for having me this morning.
All right, take care.
Yep.